In this video, I want to have a look at how we can calculate the area of triangles. So before I give you the area of a formula, the formula for the area of a triangle, I want to have a look at where that formula comes from. So to do that, we actually start with a rectangle. So if this rectangle has a base length, let's call it B, and we'll say it has a height of H, then to find the area of that rectangle, we would do area equals, and we'd multiply those two things together. We'd do base times, drawing another B, we'd do base times height. Now, we want to look at triangles today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a line from one corner to the opposite corner. And I want to just find the area of this triangle here. So if we have a look at what fraction of that rectangle we have colored in now as our triangle, we have a half of it. So to find the area of this triangle, we could find the area of the rectangle and then halve it. So what that means for our formula is we're going to do a half times the base times the height. Now that works with any shaped triangle. It doesn't have to be a right angled triangle like this one. It works with something like this as well. So our area is going to be a half times the base times the height. It is very, very important though that our base and our height, so the two numbers, the two measurements we use, are at right angles to each other. They have to be perpendicular. So we're not saying the base and the length of one of these sloped sides here. It has to be the perpendicular height. Let's have a look at some examples. So our first example asks us to find the area of this triangle. Now, this area formula will still work even for a triangle that's this shape here, as long as our height and our base are at right angles to each other. So the base length is from here to here. That tells us that's 32. And the perpendicular height is 40. So they're the two numbers we're going to use. The first thing we always do is write down our formula. So area equals a half times the base times the height. Then we're going to substitute in. So a half times 32 times 40. Then we're going to calculate that. So pop it in your calculator and you'll end up with 640. And the last thing we do is put the units on the end. Our units are centimeters, and because we're talking about area, it's going to be centimeters squared. Our second example is asking us to work backwards. It's asking us to find the height of a triangle given the area of 24 centimeters squared and the base of 8 centimeters. So the first thing we do is write down our formula. So we're going to have area equals a half times the base times the height. So we'll go through and figure that out. We'll go through and substitute in. So we'll have 24 was our area equals a half times the base, which was 8, times the height, which we don't know. So we're going to leave that as H. All right, the next step we can do is figure out this half times 8. So we're going to leave our 24 on the left-hand side there. Half times 8 is 4, and we've still got our times H there. Now we want to figure out what this H is, so we want to get it on its own, which means we need to get rid of this 4. So to do that, because it's a times by 4, we're going to divide both sides of our equation by 4. So 24 divided by 4 would give us 6. And on the right-hand side, that's just going to leave us with H. So we'll rewrite it the other way around. H equals 6. And then we need to put our units in, which were centimeters for this question. So the height of our triangle is 6 centimeters. Our third question is very similar. We're given an area of 50 centimeters squared and a height of 20, and we're asked to find the base. So again, we start with our formula. So area equals a half times the base times the height. And then we substitute in. So our area was 50 equals a half times the base, which we don't know, so we'll leave it as B, times the height, which was 20. Now to do this, the order of multiplication doesn't matter. So I could, if I wanted to, I could rearrange that to say a half times 20 times the base. Okay, because when we multiply things together, the order that we do it doesn't matter. So now that it looks like this, we can actually figure out that half times 20. So we'd end up with 50 equals 10 times the base. And then we want to find out what this base is, which means we want to get it on its own. So we're going to divide both sides by 10 to get rid of that times by 10, which would mean 50 divided by 10 is 5. So 5 equals B. So let's just rearrange that again. So the B equals 5. And then we need our units, which were, again, they were centimeters. So the base is 5 centimeters long. So that's having a look at area of triangles.